Kawasaki just revealed something quite unexpected. A four-legged robot called Corleo that you can actually ride. It's powered by hydrogen, moves with AI-assisted balance, and responds to your body movements rather than traditional controls. No, it's not as fast as a dirt bike, and it's still in development. But as a prototype, it shows where off-road mobility could be headed in the next decade or two. Let's take a closer look at how it works, and whether this kind of tech could ever replace our conventional vehicles. Alright, so starting with the design, Kawasaki's Corleo doesn't look like anything you'd find in a typical garage. It's a four-legged machine, built to move more like an animal than a traditional vehicle. The design takes clear inspiration from wolves. That much is obvious at a glance. But it's not just the appearance. The engineers also studied the agility of deer and panthers, borrowing their fluid, adaptive movement to handle terrain that would stop a motorcycle in its tracks. Each of its four legs operates independently, allowing it to navigate uneven ground, slopes, and obstacles with a stability that wheels simply can't match. Now, if this thing reminds you of something out of a video game, you wouldn't be wrong. In fact, Kawasaki has openly acknowledged that Corleo's aesthetic shares some DNA with Horizon Zero Dawn, of course, without the post-apocalyptic robot dinosaurs. That futuristic, creature-like shape might look cool, but it's also doing some real work. Every curve and joint serves a purpose, balancing mechanical functionality with organic movement. So how do you actually ride it? Think less motorcycle, more horseback. You mount it from the side, settling into a saddle-like seat. But that's where the similarities end. Instead of handlebars or a throttle, this robot responds to shifts in your body weight. Lean forward, and it walks. Shift your weight to one side, and it turns in that direction. There's no need for buttons or complex controls, just natural movement, translated into motion. It's an intuitive approach, one that could make it surprisingly accessible even for beginners. But how does it actually work? What's powering this thing? And how does its AI keep it balanced? That's where things get even more interesting. Before we dive deeper, hit that like button to prove that you're not a robot. At the heart of Corleo's design is a surprisingly clean power source, a 150cc hydrogen engine that sets it apart from conventional off-road vehicles. Unlike the gasoline engines or even standard electric motors, this system generates electricity through hydrogen combustion, with the only byproduct being water vapor. The hydrogen itself is stored in a canister mounted at the rear of the robot, feeding power to individual drive units in each of the four legs. This distributed power system gives the robot its distinctive movement capabilities while maintaining zero local emissions, a clear nod to Kawasaki's commitment to sustainable mobility solutions. What makes Kawasaki's robot truly intelligent is its integrated AI system. Moving the legs is not the only thing. The robot constantly calculates balance, adjusts its steps in real time, and compensates for shifting terrain beneath it. Riders get feedback through a heads-up display that shows crucial information: remaining hydrogen levels, terrain mapping, and even weight distribution data. This isn't another AI puppet like machine following pre-programmed movements. It's actively analyzing and adapting to both the environment and the rider's inputs. The physical design elements work in concert with this smart system to handle challenging landscapes. The rubber hooves are split into segments, allowing them to conform to uneven surfaces like grass, loose rocks, or rubble, while maintaining solid traction. You'll notice the rear legs operate with different articulation than the front, moving independently to absorb shocks and maintain stability when traversing rough patches. Even the stirrups are adjustable, letting riders customize their stance for better control or comfort during longer rides. But what really makes this system revolutionary is not any of its single components, it's how they all work together. The hydrogen power provides clean energy, the AI enables precise control, and the mechanical design translates that into fluid movement. Yet, for all its sophistication, the rider experience remains refreshingly simple. Just shift your weight and let the robot handle the complex calculations. Of course, none of this matters if it doesn't align with the bigger picture. So, how does Corleo fit into Kawasaki's vision for the future? Let's explore that next. Kawasaki's Corleo represents more than just an experimental prototype. It's a deliberate step toward a very specific vision of future mobility. The company has been transparent about their long-term timeline, estimating this technology could see commercial rollout within about 25 years. That might sound like a distant future, but it's a practical time frame that accounts for the necessary development of the hydrogen infrastructure and refinement of the core technology. It wouldn't be a stretch to say this might become a carefully planned evolution. The ultimate goal is clear. Kawasaki envisions Corleo as a potential replacement for traditional off-road motorcycles like the dirt bike or the mountain bike, particularly in challenging mountain terrain where wheeled vehicles struggle. Their "Impulse to Move" slogan perfectly captures this ambition, suggesting machines that do more than transport. They move with organic responsiveness. Consider navigating steep, rocky trails with the sure-footedness of a mountain goat rather than the limitations of wheels. That's the experience Kawasaki wants to deliver. This isn't a solo project either. It's actually a part of Kawasaki's broader hydrogen strategy, building on previous efforts like their Ninja H2 Hayase motorcycle. That bike, revealed just last year, demonstrated Kawasaki's serious commitment to hydrogen combustion technology. While the Hayase went for speed and power with its supercharged engine, this robot takes a completely different approach, prioritizing stability and terrain adaptability over velocity. Together, they showcase the versatility of hydrogen as an energy source for future vehicles. What makes this robot particularly interesting is how it fits into Kawasaki's larger corporate identity. This is a company that already dominates several transportation sectors, from high-speed trains to aircraft engines, and their move into robotic mobility feels like a natural progression rather than a radical departure. They're strategically positioning themselves at the intersection of robotics, alternative energy, and adventure sports. Prototypes are one thing. What would it actually take to bring something like this to market? The challenges might surprise you. Let's talk about what it's really going to take for Kawasaki to turn Corleo from a stunning prototype into something you can actually buy. Because right now, this thing is pushing the limits of robotics in ways that very few companies could even attempt. First up, hydrogen power. The robot runs on a fuel cell system, which means Kawasaki has to nail energy efficiency in a way that keeps this robot moving without weighing it down. It means delivering consistent power to 4 independent leg motors, each adjusting dozens of times per second. And that's before you factor in real variables like temperature shifts, elevation changes, or a rider's shifting weight. This engine will have to be an entirely different beast. Then there's the walking mechanics. Getting a 4-legged bot to move naturally is hard enough, but doing it while carrying a human? That's another level. Each leg needs to sense pressure, adjust grip, and compensate for terrain, whether it's mud, rocks, or uneven pavement. And it all has to happen in real time, without hesitation. One wrong step, and the whole system falters. Kawasaki's industrial bots have handled precise movements for years, but Corleo has to be both strong and graceful. The sensors are another hurdle. This robot will have to read the ground beneath it, which means a network of pressure sensors, accelerometers, and likely some kind of terrain scanning to anticipate obstacles. Perhaps most challenging is perfecting the human-machine interface. Unlike a motorcycle with clear mechanical controls, this robot relies on interpreting subtle shifts in a rider's weight and balance. That's an insanely difficult thing to get right. Too sensitive, and it's twitchy. Not sensitive enough, and it feels unresponsive. Kawasaki has to strike the perfect balance so that riding this thing feels intuitive, not like you're fighting with a machine. These technical obstacles explain why Kawasaki is drawing on its decades of robotics experience. Their industrial CL series robots demonstrate proven capability in precision movement and durable construction, handling welding and palletizing in extreme factory conditions. This industrial expertise provides crucial foundations for solving its mechanical challenges. Similarly, their Astorino educational robots serve an important long-term purpose. By training the next generation of engineers in practical robotics skills, Kawasaki is investing in the talent pool that may eventually solve these technical barriers. The classroom experience gained from Astorino directly informs interface design and control systems. Kawasaki's 50-plus years in robotics since 1968 gives them the unique perspective. Each generation of robots builds on previous lessons, and now Corleo's ambitious mobility. This gradual progression suggests this robot represents more than a concept. It's the next logical step in their robotics evolution. The solutions developed for Corleo could unlock new possibilities across multiple robotics applications. So, would you ride a 1,300-pound robot wolf? Kawasaki's betting adventurers will. For now, Corleo's a prototype, but it's a brilliant look at the future. AI, clean energy, and machines that move like nature. Hit the like button if you'd take it off-road, and subscribe for more tech that feels like tomorrow. Thanks for watching.